and welcome to round 2 of the IFSC Speed World Cup 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, coming to you today from Nanjing in China. The capital of the Jiangsu province, Nanjing lies in the heartland of the Yangtze River region and has a population of just over 8 million. Nanjing is one of the 4 great ancient capitals of China and at several periods of history was the largest city on earth. This week the IFSC tour rolled into town and has been well received by an enthusiastic local crowd, all of whom were keen to meet 2015 overall Speed World Cup winner Xixin Song. Well, we've had quite the mix of conditions recently. This week it's been stiflingly hot and incredibly humid. Yesterday was exactly the same and then it rained heavily in the afternoon. However, conditions have improved for speed climbing and climbing in general. We also had a Masters event. We now have quite a cold and overcast, ever so slightly grey day, but cool temperatures, perfect for climbing. The qualification finished about half an hour ago and we are just awaiting the first competitors. You can see there the judges and the belayers just making their final preparations. The belayers are ready to go, final check of the watch, and we will be underway. As I say, conditions have not been ideal. There's the VIP area. Do have a few more VIPs. I'm sure they're making their way over now. There's a small housing, entertainment, restaurant complex not too far from the venue. And I think that's where most of the VIPs are. But when word spreads that the competition is underway, I'm sure they'll make their way over. I was just saying the conditions haven't been ideal this week, but significantly better today. And we've got the first climbers out. So on the left of your screen, you see her there in the foreground. We've got Nanjing, France, and she is taking on Peyang Tian, the local Chinese favourite. Zhouber on the left, Tian on the right. Both off cleanly. Zhouber has got the better start. She holds on to her lead and Tian just stumbles, and you'd have thought Zhouber will cruise this. She will. 8.3, didn't really need to work too hard for it. 11.2 from Tian. So, relatively easy start there for Anouk Zhouber. Confirmation of the time, 8.3.
好，下面上场的是来自波兰安和来自乌克兰的欧拉。
So in heat number 2 we've got Anna Brozek, Poland against Alla Marenic of Ukraine. Watching Brozek warm up earlier. Very impressive athlete. If you ever get the chance to get backstage at a speed climbing competition, I suggest you take it. It's incredible to watch. So, Brozek on the left, Marenic on the right. Both get off well. Brozek possibly with a slight lead. Marenic catching it. This is going to be close. Marenic gaining all the time and takes it. 9.1. 10.2 from Brozek. It really looked like Brozek was going to hang on there, but she just needs to slow with about 2/3 to go. Turn around very quick here. You can see on the left of your screen Claudia Bukček. Poland with Claudia, Stephanie Pichler on the right, climbing for Team Austria. You'll see when she moves, some strapping on that left bicep. Didn't seem too keen to discuss it earlier. Doesn't seem to be affecting her climbing too much. Bukček on the left, Pichler on the right, both away first time. Both climbing well. Bukček seems to have an early lead though, and she's hanging on to it and slightly extending it and taking the win. 8.8 ahead of 9.7 Pichler. See a replay here. next two climbers out will be Alexander Rudzinska of Poland and Sofia Dorifatis of Indonesia. You can see her there on the right in the headscarf.
Ready?
Another weight plainly. Rudzinska's opened up an early lead.
加油加油
Looks like holding on to.
来自波兰
Too far left to hang on now. Takes it.
漂亮
8.9. 10-1 for the Indonesian climber. You just see emerging onto the stage. Yulia Kaplina. And Atsuomo
下面上场是来自中国队的跑步罗马和来自俄罗斯的卡布琳娜。
Rudzinska taking that win. Kaplina on the left. Poo on the right.
好，两位选手加油！瀑布卓玛加油！
Kaplina won last week in Chongqing. Second overall for the last 2 years. Is this year she goes one better? We will soon find out. Certainly got a season off to a good start. She's not got this race off to a good start. Distinctly second, but quickly hauls in Pubu and begins to pull away. Didn't get a great start. Can go that fast for the rest of the route though, it doesn't matter. 8.9. Something you often see from another great speed merchant, Usain Bolt. Always the fastest out of the blocks, in fact almost never the fastest out of the blocks. Reels him in, as did Kaplina on that run.
动的这个动作进行热身。好，下面上场的是来自印度尼西亚的选手 Eta 和何翠莲来
Next
自
we've got an
中国
interesting
女
climber
子
on
选
the
手。
left. Punamasari Triana.
加油！
She was 4th in Chongqing last week, which was perhaps something of a surprise. She was absolutely delighted. If you saw our highlights, you will have seen her kicking with
加油！
delight as she was
加
being
油，何
lowered
翠
down
莲
after！pretty much every round. There she is on the left, up against Qilan He of China. Can Triana repeat her feat of last week?
好，加油！
Certainly gets a good start, but slips almost immediately. Hay takes the lead, but will she hang on to it? Triana's catching him with every move. The longer this race goes on, the more you think Triana will do it. She doesn't quite, beaten by a 1/10 of a second. If it wasn't for that slip, I think she would have won that quite
我
comfortably.
们都非常的激动，观众朋友们，看来我们呐喊加油助威的声音还是有一定效果的。
Because last week, 4th place in Chongqing, came into this full of confidence. She's got a really unusual climbing style. Doesn't look very efficient. Her limbs flail slightly. She doesn't seem particularly accurate, but just the sheer speed of her movement just seems to get her up the wall. You can't help thinking with some
好，下面呢是来自
further
俄罗斯的
coaching,
选
more
手
competition
安娜
experience. She's only going to get
和
faster.
来自奥地利的选手 Alexandra。
We see out on the stage. Anna Tsiganova of Russia
还是非常
and
细心的，在
Alexandra
上场
Elmer
之前呢，还是要再尝试一下这个起步
competing
点
for Austria.
以及这个脚底下
Elmer
的这个感应
13th
器的位
in
置。
Chongqing. Tsiganova 8th. Elmer on the right, Tsiganova on the left. Clean start from both. Tsiganova got the slightly better start. She's holding on to that early lead.
来自俄罗斯的这位选手，加油
extending it.
加油！哇，
Doesn't need to do
漂
anything
亮！
silly now. Doesn't. Takes it to 8.6. Elmer 10.1. Slightly behind. Pretty much the first move on that one. Elmer never quite looked like reeling her in. Tsiganova takes it.
好，下面上场的呢是来自法国的一位女子选手
Women's
和
race
来自奥地利的
of
选
this
手
round
妮
of
娜。
16 is Aurelia Saracen of France against Nina Lach
Aurelia
of Austria.
来自法国，
Just watch her
对，
compatriot
很有实力的选
Alexandra
手，
Elmer beat
和来自奥地利的妮娜。现在进行的
Can
是
she
女
progress
子
to
速
the next
度
round?
决赛的16进8比赛，他们是最后一组出场的选手。好， 好，观众朋友们，让我们也不要吝啬我们的掌声
11th
和呐
overall
喊
in
的声音。
2015, Nina Lack, very consistent. Nothing spectacular, 10th to 18th place finishes in every World Cup she entered last year.
好，
Will
加
she
油！
do better this year? She's certainly off to a good start, but Saracen
来自法国和
opening
奥
up
地
a
利的两位
marginal
女
lead.
子
This
选
one is
手，
going to be
漂
close.
亮
Lack
漂
gaining
亮！
slightly. It all comes down to the final move. It's Saracen 8.8, Lack 9.1. By far the closest Lack has come to making the final 8.3 of a second. Lead is going to be close. Let's see a replay here. Slightly.
现在呢，即将进行的是男子的6进8的比赛。
Just a confirmation of the
第一
times.
组上场的呢是来自
Saracen
法国的巴萨，
9.1
以
for
及
Nina
来自
Lack.
伊朗的穆罕默德。
Now we had a slightly unusual
他们呢分别
order of
是
competition
上
last
一轮的
week.
预赛当
So
中
before
排
I
名第一的
say
巴
we're
萨
definitely
和
going to see the
第
men
排名
next, I'll say I
16的
think
穆罕
we're
默
going to see the
德。
men next. Last week things got chopped around at the last minute. I believe we are going to see the men. And it will be Bassam of France against Maltese
我们即
Mohammadi.
将进行的是
Mohammadi,
高
excuse
山
me.
湖2016中国南京水墨大念国际攀联世界杯攀岩赛的男
Malcolm
子
was sixth
速
in
度的
Chongqing.
决赛
Comes into this
第
in
一
a bit
轮
form.
16进8比赛。
Mohammadi though looked extremely fast earlier on in practice and qualifying. Just a last minute hold up. Just see
现在呢，我们的运动员也是非常紧张的在这边
Maltese
做好了
Mohammadi
准
there.
备。
the bottom right of your screen with the luminous yellow sleeves on his vest.
我们稍后呢，在16进8的比赛之后，还会有8进4
It's
和
not that
4进
warm
2
here
两轮
today
比
in
赛。
Nanjing, and
比赛会
I don't think the
快，
climbers
越
will
来越激
appreciate having
烈
to。wait like this. Not going to
看
be
到运动
helping.
员呢也是戴着耳机，然后这样可以放松一下心情。
See
因为每个
Marwan
人
there,
的这个
reaches for his jacket
放松的方式呢，还是有一些区别的。
with comic timing. He's called on just as he thinks he's getting a bit cold.
好，现在两位选手
That's
上场了。
Marwan, 31 years old.
那
from
么在他们上场之前呢，
Nancy in
再
France.
次的检查一下这个脚踏板的位置，尤其是第一组男子上
Seems
场
to。finish
刚才呢进行的是
consistently in
女
the
子，那么女
top
子的话，
10.
她根据自己的身高腿
He's
长呢，
never
会
done
移
better
动
than
这
his
个脚
second
踏
in
板的位
Arco
置。
2014.
这
This
个
is
是
year
起步的这个
born in 1984.
触摸板，那么和顶上的
See
这
there's
个
some
距
strapping
离
on his
相
right
连。
shoulder. As I understand, it's not a serious injury. Chatting to the French coach earlier, but still not ideal. Here we go.
好，两位选手加油！
And Mohammadi
哇塞
fired
来
out
自
the
法
box,
国
but
的这边
Marwan
男子选手
quickly
非常
reins
快
him
哇
in.
来
He is
自
a
伊朗的穆罕默
tall
德，
man.
哇，漂亮！
6.2 is good enough to win. Mohammadi 7.0.
让我们掌声送给巴萨来自法国的这
Just
位
say
男子选
midway
手。
through that race,
他在上
Marwan
一轮
is
的比
tall.
赛当中呢是排名第一。
Everybody stays in the same hotel for these IFSC World Cups, and
看来是在
see
预赛
Marwan
当
at
中保存
breakfast.
实
He
力
is
的一位选
massive.
手。
He used his reach there. He didn't get the best start.
好，下面出场的
Just
是来自
reined
俄
him
罗
in.
斯的 Kokorin 和同样来自俄罗斯的 Alex
Mohammadi
Andro，
close, but no cigar.
是来自同一国家的两位优秀选手。那么因为排名呢是第8名和第
So
9
no
名，
Russian
所以在
affair
这轮16进
for our
8的比赛当
second
中呢
heat.
是同时出场。
Stanislav Kokorin against
这也是
Alexander
比
Shikov.
赛当中最残酷的一面，要自相残杀。
Kokorin on the left of your screen. You see him closest to the camera there. 8th overall in 2015. He won the overall in 2012 and 13. 8th in Chongqing, carrying on his form from last year. Shikov 16th in Chongqing. Can he progress this time round? Kokorin on the left, Shikov on the right. An all-Russian final. Kokorin fires at the block, Shukov reins him in. This is a close one. Looks like Kokorin might just have it. He does by a tenth of a second. He celebrates, he knows that was close. Stanislav Kokorin. Tested there. Didn't quite need to go under 6. As we see a close-up of the finish here. Camera shaking as they get closer and closer. That's what a tenth of a second looks like in slow motion. So just closest to the camera there, on the left as we look at it now. Reza Aliposheza. One of the most dynamic climbers out there. Well worth keeping an eye on. And on the right, Sufrianto Rindi of Indonesia. Comes from Jakarta, as you see on the bottom of your screen. So the capital of Indonesia on the right takes on the capital of Iran on the left. Both off to a quick start because Ali Porshena said he's very dynamic. You see him there, just begins to fly away. 6.1 to 6.9 from Rindi. They both came out of the blocks well, but Ali Porshena, once he gets in his stride, provided he doesn't slip, as long as he's accurate, he takes some catching. You see him there, and he arrives at the finish like a steam train. He had his head high enough to touch the finishing pad, let alone his hand. I'm told it's just starting to rain outside. I don't know if you can quite see it on your screen. It's not a heavy rain. So, here's one of the favourites for the win today, you would imagine. Daniel Boldyrev of Ukraine, he is on the left, against Yulianto Abudzar, Indonesia, on the right. Boldyrev third in Chongqing. False starts. Bear in mind, the false start rule is that you cannot start less than 0.1 seconds after the buzzer. The false start is not if you start before the buzzer, it's if you start less than 0.1 seconds, after the buzzer, because that is the minimum human reaction time. Boldyrev needs to be careful this time. And he is, takes it slightly cautiously, he knows he's got the speed in hand. As the route goes on, he just opens up enough of a lead that he can cruise home. 6.1 to Abudzar's 6.8. Boldyrev through. Slightly nervy start, but he got it done in the end. So up next we have another all-Russian heat. Closest to the screen there, Dmitry Timofeev, who won last week in Chongqing against Evgeny Vaitsekovsk. So Timofeev there, it's just taking a bit longer. If you're wondering how the climbers are always so perfectly neatly in position while they're getting clipped into the rope, it's because there is a small square on the ground they have to stand on, like a game show where the contestants go to their allotted spot. Timofeev on the left. And he is fast away. Almost looked like a false start. It was just a very quick one. He makes a quite small slip and a second small slip, but he's still fast enough to win his heat. He slipped about a third of the way of up the route, and then 2/3 of the way up another slip. Not hugely convincing from Timofeev, but he's fast enough to win it anyway. You see him there. Second slip. Still gets the job done. 6.5.
下面一组出
Now
场
then,
的是来
this
自捷
will
克
be a
的
tight
Libor
race.
和来自意大
Libor
利的
Hroza, closest to the camera there, Czech
Leonardo.
Republic, against Leonardo Gontero. Very different in height. Libor Hroza well over 6 foot. Gontero much smaller, but you can see they're both big, powerful climbers.
Ready?
Away first time.
好，两位
Hroza
选手
gets a
加
better
油！
start and he's holding on to a lead. And if anything, he's extending it and winning it. 6.1. Gontero just began to gain towards the end. Not quite enough. Loses by 0.2 of a second. 6.1 from Hroza. 6.3 Gontero. And if you go onto the IFSC Facebook page, you will see a short video from Libor Hroza explaining what speed climbing is all about. I managed to grab a word with him, and you also get a glimpse of the speed climbing warm-up area
好，现
into
在
the
是咱
bargain.
们来自中
So
国
go
队
check out the
的
IFSC Facebook page for that.
林鹏辉和马尔契，来自波兰的这位选手。
So Marcin Zienski and Penghui Lin of China on the right. Zienski 4th in Chongqing. He is a World Cup winner. Won in Mokpo in South Korea 2014. You'd expect him to be favourite here. But Lin does have the support of the local crowd. And in speed climbing, anything can happen, including a false start. Lin a little too eager there. It's a funny kind of pressure climb in front of your own crowd. It can be encouraging, but it can also make people a bit edgy, a bit nervous. For those of you who also watch the bouldering, you might have seen Akia Noguchi a couple of weeks back in her home country of Japan. She didn't climb at her best, and people said it was to do with the pressure. I wonder if Lin, in front of his home crowd here in China, is the same. He certainly looks at slightly sluggish start after his false start first time round, and Zienski begins to pull away and wins it in 6.4. Lin 8.9. Yeah, I don't know if it's down to the home crowd, but it certainly does seem to affect athletes. Whether they climb better or worse, they climb in front of your home crowd, it does seem to change how they climb. And after his false start, first time round, Lin was slightly sluggish second time. So closest to the camera there is Alexander Shilov of Russia. He was 12th last time out in Chongqing. Very competitive character. Does not like finishing second. If he doesn't want to finish second here, he has to beat Pandu Asmoro Galar of Indonesia. On the right of the screen you see Shilov there, very focused. Both climbers set, Shilov on the left, Galar on the right. Galar got a good start, and he's holding on to his lead. Shilov just beginning to rein him in for the fast few metres. Takes it by the narrowest of margins, 5/100ths of a second, Shilov. Lost tight. Galar was fast away there. Shilov just reined him in. And you can see how close it was. Get a second look at it. It's the difference between first and second in a speed climbing race. You see the boulders, the belays, sorry. Belays just shaking out. Tiring for the belays. We use a dual belaying system for speed climbing, whereby one belay takes in the rope and the other one pulls it through the belay device. Try to do it yourself, you just would not be able to belay fast enough for the rate these climbers go. Bear in mind that some of the men are getting up the wall in under 6 seconds. You will understand.
在上一轮比赛的时候，我们可以看出来，这个决赛呢是运动员呢两两对阵，运动员攀爬一条线路以后呢，两个人的成绩谁的最快就可以进入下一轮的比赛。
Quick shot of the officials there. As I mentioned earlier, it has begun to spit with
接下来呢，
rain
我们
here in
将进入
Nanjing.
8进4的比赛当中。
Nothing too heavy just yet. It's been threatening all day. It's been a very grey day, much colder than every other
刚
day
才我
this
们的预
week.
赛呢是采取这个时间的
As we see,
成绩排名，
emergency
两
jackets
条
being
攀
brought
爬
out
2
here, the
次这个
judges.
线路，那么取当中的一条进入到决赛。 好，观众朋友们，我们也可以看到，在这个整场比赛当中呢，工作人员之间的配合也非常的重要。
So for those of
因
you
为
who
在比
didn't
赛的过程当中，当我们的裁
manage
判
to
员
catch it last
开
week.
始说各就各位，也就是 IPO Max 的时
Hello,
候
Mr.
呢，我们的音
Tech.
乐也需要关掉，
Just to
然后
recap,
这样的话才能够让运动员
those of you who
们
didn't
保
see it last
持非
week,
常清晰的听到
in
计时器的
Chongqing,
声音。
Dmitry Timofeev won the men's event, beating
那么一
Libor
般来
Horosa
说
of Czech
呢，我
Republic.
们的裁判员
In
会
the
先
final,
说
In
IPO
the small
Max，
final,
也
the
就是
third,
各
fourth
就各
playoff,
位
as it's known in
然
most
后
sports,
呢，
Daniel Bolirev
就
beat
最后的
Marcin
一个声音呢，
Zienski
也
of
我
Poland.
们岩壁上边有两
And
个
in
灯，
the women's
有两个
event,
灯。
Yulia
这两个灯
Kaplina
的话
beat
会
Claudia
在
Bukchek of Poland
我
in the
们说
final,
IPO Max，
and in the small final,
然后之后
Alexandra
呢，还
Rudzinska
会
of
有一
Poland
个
beat
ready，
Purnamasara
也就是准备。
Itatriana of Indonesia by the
发出这个口
smallest
令。
of margins,
那
3
么如果有
100ths
长
of a
跑的
second.
话，我们的计时器是非常敏感的。那么在运动员呢，将有一只脚是放在地面上，只要这个脚踩到这个计时器的感应板上，感应板在他们的脚下，那么踩到这个感应板上以后呢，去进行计时开始。
So just to
那么计时结
recap
束
the
的话
results
是
for you.
岩壁顶上有一个粉红色的
The
这个
fastest
结束
time
的
in that
计时
round
器。
was
好，
Anouk
下一轮开始了。
Joubert, France. She
那么
finished at
096号安诺
8.37
克
ahead of Yulia
对
Kaplina and Anna
095
Tsiganova. Claudia
Ola.
Bukchek 4th, Rudzinska in 5th. Speaking of Joubert, she is first out in this quarter-final on the left, taking on Alla Maranic
好，现
of
在呢，选手
Ukraine
们开始
on
攀
the
爬了。
right.
加油！
And Joubert who gets a better start, but
加油
really a
加油
major
好
stumble in
来
the
加
middle
油
of the
安诺
route.
克加油
And
两个选
Maranic
手
just needs to hold on here and does to take it in 9-2. And Joubert, we just said, fastest in the round of 16. A major stumble in the middle of the route, almost seemed to stop altogether.
好，现在呢，我们的女子预赛的8进4
Interesting
的
to see
比
that
赛第
again.
一轮已经开始了。
Hopefully we will
刚才对决的是来自法国的安诺克
have time for a
和
replay
来自
because
乌克
Joubert
兰的
just seems
欧
to be
拉。
是的，那么我们
stuck in the mud around the
4强
round at the
第二
middle
个
of
名
the
额将
route.
在克劳地亚以及艾里克安卓两位之间产生。
是的，克劳迪亚呢是来自波兰的一位选手。
两位都是来自波兰，我们现在看到。
哦，是的，是的，两位都是来自
No
波兰
time，
太
for a
厉害了。
replay because we have an all Polish quarter-final here. Claudia Bukchek taking on Alexandra Rudzinska. See there, Bukchek on the left. From the town of Tarnow, Rudzinska from Lublin. Bukchek 3 years older. Slightly quicker start from Rudzinska, both seem slow out the blocks, and this is close all the way. Bukchek, if anything, I was about to say opening up a marginal lead,
是的，
but a slip costs her.
我们感觉
Rudzinska
这个
takes it in
所有比赛
8-4.
进行选手们把这个成绩也是在不断的逼近啊，
是的，越来越快了。
确实是越来越快了。好的，下面我们来重点关注一下，因为
Third
接下
last
来
time
的
out
中国选手
in Chongqing,
即将出
Rudzinska,
场，
as we were
争
saying
夺
earlier.
这个第3个4强的
A
名
hug
额
for
啊。
the
是的，
Polish
何翠
teammates
莲
there.
对阵的是来自俄罗斯的选手卡布琳娜。
是，何翠莲是在比道啊，
So out next we'll have Yulia
加油阿
Kaplina
莲！
加油阿莲！
of Russia against Huilan
卡普琳娜
Hay
是
of
非常年
China.
轻的选手，对阵的是咱们中国啊女子速度国际上面享有知名的这个声誉的老将何翠莲。
Kaplina, last week's winner from Chongqing, as we've already said. 22 years old.
加油！
让我们对他们有所期待。
Won
加油，阿
7
莲！
World Cups, including last week's success.
那么也希望我们的观众朋友们能
Has
够
to be
给我
one
们
of
的
the
运动员呢
favourites
在起步以后更多的热
for
情
the
的
whole
掌声和呐喊。
World Cup season, let alone this World Cup and let alone this race. But can Hay, in front of a home crowd, upset the odds?
好的，
We
请
will
过来
see.
看一
It's a
下
good start.
两个人并驾齐驱，
Kaplina
何翠
has
莲
a
还有机会，
marginal
加油加油，速度快一点！
marginal lead that she's just holding on to finish in 8-3 ahead of Hayes 8-9.
这也是阿联非常好的一次成绩，
Utterly
掌声
convincing
送给
there.
阿联。
是的，恭喜阿
Convincing
联，
enough to
那
take the
么
win.
也创造了自己个人最好的
You
成
can
绩。
see here what 0.8 of a second looks like in slow motion.
好，我们听到阿联
Kaplina
的男
well
朋友
into your
们啊
screen
也
and
是非常
touches
的
the
兴奋。
pad
是的，阿联的
just
男
as
朋
we
友
see
们。
Hay emerge.
好，好，阿联辛苦了。
So just walking purposefully
好，
towards your
接下
camera there
来 A 道，俄罗斯选手对阵 B 道。
is Anna Tsiganova of Russia.
来自法国
Behind her you can see Aurelia Saracen of
加油。
France. Tsiganova, 4th overall last year in the World Cups.
这两位选手也是实力相当啊，非常厉害的两
From
位
the
选
town
手
of。Krasnoyarsk. Tsiganova on the left, Saracen on the right.
好，
Tsiganova gets a
是的
marginally
加
better
油，
start
已经开始了攀爬。
and extends her lead thanks to a slip from Saracen.
来自俄罗斯的安娜
Tsiganova just needs to bring this home, and she does. 8-4. No need for any heroics, wasted the crowd.
From Russia。 好，安娜应该是对自己这一把的攀爬比较满意啊。
好，现在是女子的这个4进8的8进4的这个比赛呢，也已经结束了。哎呦，太激动了，
See
太
a
激动
replay
了
of。the top out here. Big firm slap on the
好
top.
的，接下来啊，我们已经看到了，我们预先介绍两位是黑马巴萨对阵的是这个俄
Do you
罗斯
see
的
it
科
where
特林，两位加油！
athletes
三
don't
号。
apply enough pressure to stop the clock? They touch the pad, but not with enough
刚才我
force.
在这
No
个直
such
播间
worries.
呢，也是在跟这个
for Tsiganova that time.
钟齐鑫在聊啊，我说这个以我们这个亚洲人呢，因为钟齐鑫我们知道他是这
So
个
just to
平均
confirm,
身高嘛，是吧？就站在这个2米
the
的
4 women
高个的情况，我觉
through
得
to the
压力很
semi-final.
大，你知道
Alla
钟齐鑫
Marenic
怎么回答的吗？
怎么回答？
climbing for
太牛
Ukraine.
掰了他说
Alexandra
我拿世界
Rudzinska
冠军，他
of
们还在
Poland.
当小孩子在家训练的，
Yulia Kaplina of
这个心
Russia.
态太重
心
要了。
态完全不一样。真的是
And
感觉不一样
Anna Tsiganova, also of Russia.
好，接下来呢是咱们男子的4进8对
About to see
4进2的比赛。
first men's quarterfinal. It will be between Bassam Mawem of France and Stanislav Kokorin of Russia. Again, a bit like when Mawem was first out in the men's qualifiers. I'll go back to that. So we see Yulia Kaplina,
巴萨呢还是戴着他的耳机跑做
followed by
放松
Tsiganova, Rudzinska and
每个
Marenic.
运动员做放松或者是热身的这个方式都是有不一样的地方。
是的。
有听音乐的，还有
I was about
的
to say,
是要
that's
不
when
停
Mawem
的奔跑或者是
climbed
跳跃，甚至是
In the round of
打自己
16,
的脸蛋儿。
made to wait quite a long time. Didn't look like he was very happy about it. He's been made to wait again this time
还有一位让自己
against
静下来
Kokorin.
是的，
还有一位是让自己疯起
You
来
can。see Marwen there
好的。
with the huge chalk bag. He's just kicking his feet, trying to stay warm. It is a chilly day here in Nanjing.
好，现在我们也可以
Had
看
a
到
bit of
国
rain
际裁判呢在为我们的
Bit
这
of
个
drizzle.
工作人员进行这个电脑的防
However,
水
the
的
wall is
工作
covered
是因为
and the
在
cold
这样的
temperatures
哎
mean
好，来我们
conditions
直接看
are
比赛
good
了。
for
好
speed
，Coco
climbing.
林看一下，Coco林在 B 道，那么巴萨就是在 A 道。
A 道。
Initially looked like
好
Kokorin was going to come to the wrong lane, but he doesn't.
是这个左边 A 道
He's
啊，
furthest
这个
away from our
84年的
camera.
巴萨啊，还是
That's
这
a
个
Marwen
B
of
道啊
France
这个俄罗
closest
斯
to it.
的
There we see him.
科科林，哪一位选手能够进入到这个4强啊？其实我个人心里比较倾向科科林啊，因为他是我们中国公司凯乐石赞助的。
哦，是这样。
是。
这两位选手也是非常有意思，
So
一
there
黑
we
一
see it
白
on
啊。
screen. Mawem on the left, Kokorin on the right. France against Russia.
Ready? Please wait.
Slight issue there with Kokorin, something he's not happy with.
看看刚刚这个 Coco 林呢，也是这个做出了手术。
Doesn't look like it's anything specific. Wasn't happy, didn't settle. And I'll have to go again. I'm sure it's not intentional psychology on Kokorin's part, but it can't be easy for Marwen when you're ready to go and you're told you have to wait again. How will it affect it? Another issue.
观众在下面看也大家大概知道发生了一些什么事情啊，就是选手有时候会有意的扰乱对手的节奏啊。然后现在是
told that was a false start from Marwen.
我们来调整一下。
If there was movement, it was a very small one. I certainly didn't pick it up with the naked eye, but the timing sensors know a lot more about that than I do. So, away this time, third time lucky. Kokorin opened up an initial lead, but Marwen is reaming in, and he will not quite take it. Holds his head 100th of a second.
果然你的预言可以啊！
没错
Well, I have to say, it looked like Marwen had that. We'll see it again here.
巴萨也是摇摇头啊，小伙子这个又学了一手。
巴萨在第一轮的这个比赛当中是成绩最好的、最快的一位选手。
对，
这一轮的简直太精彩了。
是是
See
是
it there.
各位观众啊，我个人是非常
100th
同
of
意
a
这种，
second.
应该我欣赏这种行为，利用比赛，而且为了达到这个比赛的胜利，愿意付出一切，是吧？
是的，然后
Marwen
下面
entered
两
our
位
shot
上场的选
first.
手
I
是
know the
来自
camera's on the right
伊
hand
朗
side,
的
but it
瑞达
looked like he had a
052号，
marginal
以
lead
及
on
来
the
自乌
last
克兰的
move.
丹尼尔
Just
049
that
号。
final launch for the buzzer, it
另
just
外
goes
哈，
to
伊
show
朗
you.
选手呢也是他们伊朗这个
It's not
攀岩
done
啊第一
until
个
it's
在
done.
咱们国际赛场拿到冠军的选手。
很有
That's
实力的一
Marwen
位选
missed
手，
out on
在
the
预
semi-final
赛和
by
这个16进
100th
8比
of
赛
a
当中都
second.
是表现非常好的一位选手。
是的，那么比到的是
This
这个乌克
will
兰
be
的
an
丹尼
exciting
尔。
race.
丹尼尔也是非常有名的一位运动
Daniel
员。
Bouldering of Ukraine against Reza Aliporshena of Iran.
那么丹尼尔也是世界纪录的保持者。艾特马
Aliporshena can be extremely
易
fast.
翔老师，
Mind you, after third place, Chongqing, no Bouldering can be two.
好的，开始了，我们
Aliporshena
来
seems
看
to
一
get the
下。
marginally better
加油
start.
加油！
Bouldering with those long arms and legs is beginning to rein him in.
哦
Not quite enough. Aliporshena, the first climber under 6 seconds today, 5.9.
这个太棒了，他是
Fair
来
to
自
him, that's
伊
a
朗
fast
的。
time. 6.07, but it's
不是
not
看
enough.
刚才他不是往上面指，不是看是不是下雨啊？我之前聊
Let's have a
过
look at，the
他是
top
在
out.
感谢真主。
哦，这样的。
没有，这个不是开
Yeah,
玩笑，因
very
为
close.
他每一次参加咱们
Aliporshena,
国
you see
内
him
的比赛，
slap it straight away, looks to the right to see where Bouldering is.
后来我们就聊了，就问一下，他说他是感谢主，他说是感谢主让我来这个赢得了比赛。
是的，那么每一位运动员呢和裁判员，其实我们都应该感谢
So you can see in the
我们
foreground
的
there.
生活，感谢我们的世界，能够给我们这样一次
Dmitry
精
Timofeyev of
彩
Russia
生
against
活
Libor
的
Horoz of Czech
机会和
Republic.
精彩展现的
On
机
the
会
right.。
我觉得不管有什么信仰，我们要感谢自己所
Chongqing,
这个
this
世
was
界
the。
是的，
final.
是的。
This time round, it's a quarterfinal. One of the favourites to win this event will be out in the quarterfinals. Will it be Horoza on the right or Timofeyev on the left?
好的，各位，
I was
很
about
好
to。say very quick
现在
start
这
from
一轮
Horoza.
是这个重庆世
It
界
was
杯
a
的
false
决赛的
start
重
for
演。
Timofeyev. Looked to the naked eye as if Horoza moved first there. But no, it was Timofeyev.
艾特曼，现在是047号。
You are allowed one false start without punishment. So, no punishment for Timofeyev other than the fact that he might have to take it slightly earlier this time.
哦，
But this time, it's Horoza who false
大家
starts.
可以感受到我们的运动员压力有多大，大家给他们一点
And
掌
this
声好吗？各
turns
位。
an interesting race into a fascinating one. Because these two were first and second last week in Chongqing.
艾特曼，
This week they face each other in the quarterfinals and both have false started. One more false start from either, and they are out. One of them will be out anyway though.
好的，各位。
This
再
time
次
they
为
clean
大家
away.
介绍，在重庆
But
世
it's
界杯
Horoza
决
who
赛
takes an
就
early
是这两
lead.
位在进行比拼。现在
And
他们再
Timofeyev
度
rein
出
him
场
in.
了。啊，
Again too close to call. The
Yeah.
naked eye, and it's Horoza who gets
Yes.
it. He is delighted and
Little-
rightly so.
那么 Liber 呢，在这一站啊，几
This
天
time
之
it's
后终
3
于报了这
100ths
个
of a
重庆
second,
的
which
一
by the
箭之
standard
仇
of
啊，
today's
就是
superb
这
men's
两位
competition.
在咱们重庆的这
Is
个
a
决
golf.
赛现场啊 ，Liber 呢也是以非常微弱比分输掉了，输给了这个俄罗斯的
See them
Dmitry。
both launch.
然后呢，过
There
了
you
几
go,
天，
that's
他们
3
又在
100ths
这
of a
个
second
赛
for
场
you.
啊四
Right
强
there.
相遇，然后呢，这个 Liber 呢
Libor
将自
Rosa,
己这
he
个
knew that one
对
was
手
close,
淘汰掉
instantly
啊，
looked
可以
left.
想象有多么的激动。 今天的比赛真的是太精彩了，各位向各
So
位保
beaten in
证，
the final
是我
last
今
week
年
by
看到最精
Timofeyev.
彩的一场。
This week in Nanjing he gets
紧张的都快
revenge.
说不出话来了。
He's
04 8
cleanly
号
into the
Alexander
semi-finals.
和06 1号 Martin。
是
Martin 呢是来自波
So
兰的一位
Martin
选手
Zienski.
，Alexander 呢是来自俄罗斯的一位选手。
是的，
You see him there in the foreground, up against Alexander Shilov of Russia. Zienski on the left, Shilov on the right. A false start from
是的，
Shilov.
大家看得很
Didn't
清
need the
楚啊
timing
这个
machines to show us that one.
好，
来自俄
我们
罗斯的 Alexander。
也教大家看一下上面的
He
这个
knows
电
it.
子计时器啊。等一下，他如果选手有抢跑，他这个计时器他那一道会闪烁。
Sometimes it can be difficult to
不过
spot
我估
with
计
the
观
naked
众
eye.
朋友
Full
们的
starts,
眼
that
光
one
啊，
not
都
so
聚
much.
焦在运动员的身上，可能都来不及看这个了。
They set themselves again. This to replace in the semi-final.
加油！
Shilov looked like he was about to false
差
start
一点
again,
啊
had to
差一点
hesitate.
很
It's
好的
really
动作
cost him.
Alexander 和
Never
Martin
quite got into his rhythm.
好的，
啊，漂亮。
Zienski takes it 6-1. And that false start seems to be in the mind of Alexander Shilov there, because he was sluggish out of the blocks. Never really looked in that one. He will go out the quarterfinal stage. Zienski
好，
progresses.
现在我们男子
So,
的
just to
世界
recap.
2的比赛呢已经结束了。哎呀，这
No,
个
that's not
速
the
度赛的
results.
决赛真的是太帅了，
对，
太
我觉
漂亮了。
得有两个瞬间特别啊，这个值得纪念。一个是我们看到这个 Kokolin 啊，这个一点小小的这个
So
应该
just
叫
to
战
recap
术
for
的
you,
运用啊。然后
fourth
呢，再接下来的
semi-finalist
另一
will
把
be
就是这个
Stanislav
俄罗斯的
Kokorin,
这个捷克啊。
Reza
这两位
Aliposhchena,
那么在这个
Libor
因为
Hroza
是
and
他们两个
Marcin
人相遇的这一
Zienski.
站呢，正好就是他们在重庆的那一
Absolutely
站的重
superb
逢
competition
却
in
把
the
结
men's
果
event
又
today.
颠倒了，在之前又
Extremely
有个人
tight.
各抢跑
Several
一次
races there.
哇，真的是太精彩了！咱们这一次的重庆站，
很紧张啊，太紧张了。
是我解说这个
Some discussion going on with
南
the
京站
judges.
呢比重庆站要精彩的多。好，那么接下来我们将会是什么？我们来看一下。
接下来呢将是
And
咱
there we
们
have the
女子的
results.
4进2的比赛。
好的，我们来看一
Zienski,
下4进2的比赛，
Aliposhchena,
4位
Hroza
选
and
手啊，有
Kokorin.
2位来自俄罗斯，1位来自波兰，1位来自乌克兰，都是我们东欧的选手。好，开始了。
Asamarwen, Bouldering, Timofeyev and Shilov missing out.
东欧的女孩子长得好漂亮啊，我觉得。
你说出了在场所有男士的心声。
啊，我是这样想的，我说出来了吗？
So, Marinic, if you
好的，等待，等待，等待，两
excuse
位
me,
加油！
barely
看一下，
catch
哎
up on the
呀，
competitive
波
name
兰
slip
选
from
手出现了致
Rudzinska.
命的失误，乌克兰的选手保持了领先的优势，最后
It is not
哇，这一把的
Anna
话，
Brozic.
欧拉可
That
以
is
慢
Ala
慢的
Marinic
去
on
看
the
他了。
left.
是是是，我们看到也是充分的利用了比赛的规则。Congratulations to Ola。好，那么我们看到呢，那么Alexandra 来自波兰的选手呢，就进入到了这个第3名的争夺，而 Ola 将会进行冠军的争夺。好的，4进2，第2场将会在 A 岛
Excuse
俄
me,
罗
that's
斯选
slight
手
issue.
卡布琳娜，
The names, that
哦
was，
也是
Ala
对阵的
Marinic
比代也是俄
progressing.
罗斯选手。
对，是
to
安
the
娜
final.
90号。
好
Who
的，
will she be joined by?
俄罗斯也是速度赛的一个强国，
确实
很厉害。
是这样，确实是这样。好的。
Kaplina of Russia. Closest to your screen, you see her
我
there.
们也是看到啊，选手在这个开始比赛之前啊，绝
Tsiganova
不允
also
许
of
任
Russia.
何一点一丝一毫
On
的
the
这
right hand
个
side.
影响到自己的比赛的发挥啊，是吧
对？啊，非常细心，非常细心。
是。
There's something I'm not happy with. officials
好的
calling
那
for the
么现
step
在
ladder.
呢，正在
Possible
这个
adjustment to be
我
made
们
to one
的
of
技
the
术
holds.
处理的时候，我们也
We
为
wait
大
and
家再
see.
次介绍一下。如果您刚刚来的现场，或者是您刚刚打开这个网络直播，您现在看到的是高山湖2016中国南京水墨大年国际攀联世界杯攀岩赛的比赛现场。那么现在大家看到的是非常紧张激烈的速度赛，现在是女子4进2
It's
的
like
比
a
拼。
relatively
是的，只有4位选手呢，
minor
在
issue,
这一
whatever
轮
it
比
might
赛
have
当
been.
中呢，将决出这个进入冠亚军的争夺赛以及季军争夺赛的选手。
是，然后呢，现在马上要出场的是2位都是来自俄罗斯啊，是队友，然后他们有一位会获得冠军争夺的名额，而有一位呢进入第3名的争夺。
是的，这一轮绝对是非常的精彩。
绝对的，我们看
让我们
一下。
期待吧。所以刚才呢，这个俄罗斯的队员也是对这
Let's
个
take it
线
over
路
back out.
也是提出了一个小的
Kaplina
疑
joins
问
her.，
然后需要我们的裁判员去确认一下。
我本来还想
See Kaplina
让
there.
大家猜一下这个老队员会不会让一下新对手，但是我看一下他这个表情，估计是不会。
肯定是不会的。我们运动
One
员
in
在上场
Chongqing,
的时候
third overall
像今天所说
2015,
的
second
什么都
overall
是想
2014,
只想着
second
好好
overall
比赛。
2013.
艾特曼
Does a World Cup overall win Beckon this year? We will see. Kaplina on the left, taken over on the
好的，
right.
2位已经开始
Very
了
fast
跑
start,
加油
taken
呀
over, but almost instantly stumbles. Kaplina
他的队友
just needs to bring this
卡
home. Doesn't need to do anything flash.
哇哦
Doesn't.
哦，我们看一下这个成
8.0,
绩。
still a good time for
恭
Kaplina.
喜卡维娜。
Taken over
Right.
8.8. That slip early on
Congratulations
cost
to
her.
卡普琳娜。那么卡普琳娜呢，会和这个乌克兰的欧拉在冠军啊进行争夺冠军。那么俄罗斯选手安娜会和这个另一位
Well,
这个波兰的选手亚历克安卓进行第3名的争夺。
Will take on Kaplina for the final.
男子，接下来男子4
Taken
场
over
哇
there.
真的是我们的比赛太激烈了啊！
Some
完全
issue
不
with
让
a
人相信
hold,
马上
low down on her
出来
route.
的是我们的男子选手，我们
Seemed
看
to
到已
distract
经
her
在
slightly,
这
and
个
then she
人
slipped
区
on that
蓄
hold.
势待发，2位选手 A 道是
Will be
这个俄
interesting
罗
to
斯选
see
手 k o k o l i
if she's got any complaints with the judges. It's certainly something she
经验
didn't
的这
like.
个老道啊，这个一个小的战术，
Whether there's
这
something
真的
lodged
是
behind the hold or
比
not,
到
we're not
伊朗
sure.
的 Raza。
对，052
One of the
号选手。
route setters here nipped up on a ladder and had it sorted in no time. But not quite sure what the problem was.
现
So
在
just
马
to
上
confirm
即
for
将
you,
进行的是男
Alan
子
Marenic
4进
will
2的
take
比赛。
on
有
Yulia
4位男子
Kaplina
选
in the
手上
women's
场，那么他
final.
们是 k o k o l i 和 Riza，
嗯，
还有 Libor 来自捷克的 Libor 和来自波兰的
So
Nanjing.
first men's semi-final. Stanisław Kokorin against
056号
Reza.
，Kokoli
Ali Poshena
刚才
if
非
it
常
ran.
看好的那位选手。
Kokorin
对，
in the
非
foreground
常有
there.
意思。我们看一下是 A 道经验丰富的
Going
老
through
将，
one
甚
final
至
mental
还是
rehearsal.
提到在近2年一直保持啊非常好的这个冲劲的新人。我们来看一下，
那么他对阵的也是一位强劲之敌，来自伊朗的 Riza，
是
伊朗唯一的
Ali
世界
Poshena
冠
was
军。
7th in Chongqing,
艾特曼
so he's already bettered that. He has won World Cups in the past, one in Hayang in 2013, Wuzhang 2015. Is
好的，已
Nanjing
经开始
placed
了。
for
看
another
一
win?
下2位基本上以同
He's
样的速度，
absolutely
哎
howling
对
up
了
this
接了
route, and he will
哎呀，
win this one by another narrow margin,
哇塞！
0.03 of a second.
但是我觉得
Looked
这
like
个
he
应
was
该是
going to
k o k o l i
win
的
by
最好的
more,
成
but
绩了。Is that your best
Kokorin just seemed to
record,
rein him in then.
Yes, yes.
Ali
看到没有
Poshena
Yeah,
just had enough to hang
这是
on.
他参加比赛最好的
最好的成绩
但，是没办法，你对手比你还要好。
这好像也是咱们今天场上的最好的成绩。
是啊，是啊，是啊，哇 k o k o l 真的是
And now
太可惜了，创造了自己
Another
职业
close
生涯
finish,
最好的
men's
成绩，结
event.
果被人干掉了。哇，真的比赛真的是
500ths of a second to be
太快了，
winning by miles by the standards of today. It's been
我
extraordinary
们观众就
competition.
讲一讲是这么个情节啊。
好的，068号来自捷克的，061号选手是来自波兰的 Martin，
Maxim。
068号是来自捷克的 Libor。
那么利博啊，大个子，那么现在已经身上有一个这个长跑，他要是这把长跑的话，就直接就没资格了。所以他的心理压力，我觉得比那个 Maxim 要大一些。
其实我的心理压力也很大，当音乐一停的时候，我觉得我的心脏在蹦蹦的直跳。
对，所以我每次
Martin
都
Ziemski
自
of
己找热
Poland
度，
taking on
我就在
Libor
猜
Hirota,
这个利博
Czech
会不会再
Republic.
跟这
See
个保
Hirota
护
there
人
in
做
the
撸一样
foreground.
的动作？
哦，那你有没有压什么多少钱？
我猜他这把会做，我们看一下啊。
Hirota in the final last week.
他这
Today
个
he's
压
already
力真是非
beaten
常大的。
the man who beat him in last week's final. Dmitry Timofeev.
他的表情
Very
让我也特别的紧张。
Zienski just taking a bit longer to get ready. Here's Rose on the left, Zienski on the right.
好的，来看一下是 Libo 还是
Zienski gets a flying start, but Rosa beginning to have a bit of a lead, but he just stumbles and takes it by 400ths of a second. This man's event today is absolutely unbelievable.
Libo， 哇，太厉害了！每一把都是以我们看到这个成绩啊，精确的小数点。
See the finish
是
again.
的，是的，是的。哎呀，
Both steaming up the wall.
这个真的是这样，我觉得在选手他们经过了这
There's
个
a
是
Rose.
一直这样过来的话，他
Again.
后面的心理优势会非常
Taps
的
the
强
pad
大。
instantly looks right,
好，
as
那
you
么
would.
Libo， 那么就和我们的这个和谁？
I think he
和
knew
这
he
个
had that
Reza
one.
进行到
As soon as he
冠军的
looked
争夺
right,
然后呢，但是首
it's
先
only
开始
400ths
的是
of
俄
a
罗斯的
second.
Kokolin 和这个
These
Maxi
athletes
的第三名的
do
争
this
夺。
day in, day out. They can tell when they've won.
哎呀，真是跌宕起伏啊！
太刺激了，我觉得发生了好多的故事啊，就是各种各样的故事，啊，真的是。然后今天晚上我跟这个 Kokolin 喝酒的时候，一定要好好的嘲笑一下他，这个职业生涯最好的成绩创造了啊，这个。
被人干掉了。
真的，因为 Kokolin 刚刚就钟其新也跟我聊过 ，Kokolin 他就算是他们当年拿这个世界冠军的时候，也是6秒毛边的成绩，就6秒1就可以拿世界冠军。你想想现在的就是世界上攀岩水平进步到多快，你爬到6秒以内，结果你还进不了冠军赛。
Will take on Yulia Kaplina.
南京啊，这个地方简直是太灵了。
The women's final in the small final, the third, fourth playoff.
哎呀，
It
果
will
然是
be
在咱们水墨
Alexandra
大面的景区
Rudzinska
啊，人杰地灵的地方，能够让
against
运动员们突破自己，产生最好的
Anna
成绩。
Tsiganova.
老师广告不用做了，来回到比赛。
好，女子选手的4进2当中的季军争夺赛，
是
084号 Alexandra 和090号安娜。
是这2位赢的就会是第3名。
让我们看一下这次比赛的季军将会是俄罗斯的选手，来自俄罗斯的选手安娜，
Zienska on the
来
left,
自波
Kaplina
兰
on the
的。
right. Tsiganova on the right.
好的，我们来看一下获得
Very
2006
even
年
so
中
far.
国水墨大典国际攀岩世
Tsiganova
界杯
opening
攀
up.
岩赛女子速度第3名的选手是。
A small lead and enough of a lead to take third
是
place.
的 ，Congratulations to Anna, come from
Just to
Russia.
remind you, that is
Congratulations.
not Yulia Kaplina.
Yeah.
That is Anna Tsiganova taking third place. Apologies for the graphics on the screen
现在
there.
终于笑了一下，看到。
那么 Alexandra 呢，084号来自波兰的这位选手呢，也获得了本次比赛的第4名。
是，好的，谢谢，来我们的掌声送给安娜。各位，女子组冠军的争夺即将开始，让我们拭目以待。
那么接下来进行冠亚军争夺赛的是来自乌克
So
兰的
Alexandra
欧拉
Rudzinska will take 4th place in the women's competition,
来自俄罗斯。
是，
and Anna Tsiganova will take third. Final will be between Alla
左
Marenic
边欧拉
and
对阵
Yulia
比到
Kaplina.
右边卡布琳娜，左边乌克兰对阵右边俄罗斯。Ladies and gentlemen, Russia versus Ukraine.
Here they are. Alla Marenic, closest to the camera there, climbing
好，他们再
Team
次的
Ukraine
确认一下自己的起步的这个
against
脚
Yulia
踏板，
Kaplina,
也就是
who
计
won
时
last
器
week
啊
in Chongqing.
再次确认一下，因为现在呢是最关键的时刻了。
是。
As I've already said,
好
third overall last year,
将
Kaplina.
产生在几秒
Second in
钟之后
2014,
产
second
生
in 2013. She will have got her season off to a dream start
Ready?
if she can win here.
好的，获得2016
She
年
gets
中
off
国
to a
男
good
子
start
水墨
in this
大典
race.
国际攀岩世界杯攀岩赛冠军
So
的
does
选手
Marenic,
是，
but
让我们
Kaplina
来看
beginning
一
to
下。
open a bit of a lead, which she will hold on to win in 8.019.
是的 ，Congratulations to Katerina, come from Russia.
Alla Marenic there on the left. 9.3.
Congratulations to
Kaplina,
Katerina.
2 World Cups, 2 wins.
Congratulations to Russia.
Waves to the crowd.
Yeah.
Absolutely delighted. And as well she might be. Perfect start to the season.
Congratulations to Ola, come from Ukraine. Nice job, amazing clap. Thank you.
哇，这一轮我已经
是
手
我们的
心出汗了。
选手这个也是相互这个吻脸啊，以致谢啊，也不知道我们的选手这个在场上
So
啊
just
有
remind
什么
you
想法。好的，马上开始的是我们的男
men's
子
small
第
final
3名的争夺
climbing's equivalent of the
左的
third,
俄罗
fourth
斯
playoff
科
will
克
be
林
between
对阵
Stanislav
比纳。
Kokorin and Marcin Zienski.
Marcin 来自波兰。
是的。
See Zienski there.
1号是来
Wants
自
to
波
get on
兰
with it.
的
That's just
Marcin。
Kokorin
056号
coming towards the
在
camera,
左边的是 Kokorin，
striding out purposefully.
俄罗斯。
赢的人
So
就是
Kokorin
世界杯
of Russia will be on the left,
速度第3名。
Zienski of Poland on the right. Seems to have a very set routine before he
再
climbs.
次的确认，再次确
Kokorin
认。
Full mental
同时
rehearsal.
的抹一下眉粉，提一下绳子，这也是我们
We
运
have
动
it
员的
Stanislav
这个
Kokorin on the
动作。
left, Marcin Zienski on the
放
right.
松一下，呼吸一下。我们本次比赛的季军。
This for third place in the second World Cup of the season. Some slight issue for Zienski there. Slightly unsettling for the competitors.
太紧张了，太紧张了，
When
放
they
松
have
一
these
下，
issues.
呼吸一下，要不然我会被憋死
A
的。
lot of the race is who can deal with it better. Korin on the left, he was 8th in Chongqing. Zienski was 4th. Guaranteed to at least match that. Can he go one better? Looked like a false start from Kokorin, and it was.
是吧？我们看到科克里啊。
So you have to be careful here.
好，让我们再深
Allowed
呼
one
吸，
false
再深
start.
呼吸。本次比赛
Without
的速
punishment.
度赛的男子季军即将产生，
After
他
that,
们将在 Kokorin 和 Marcin 中
You are
间的
excluded
产生
from
本
the
次比赛的
race.
季军。At Max，
they try again. We had one attempt where there was an issue with Kokorin, with Zienski, sorry. Then Kokorin false started. Will they get away this time? They do, and it's Zienski who makes a better start. Kokorin gaining. Zienski just has enough to hold on. Slip from Kokorin about halfway up there. He loses by a second.
来自波
And
兰的
Zienski,
Marcin。
having taken 4th place last week in Chongqing, takes
Congratulations to
third
Marcin.
this week in
Congratulations to
Nanjing.
Poland. Thank you, Kokorin.
同时呢，也要感谢来自俄罗斯的 Kokorin 为我们带来的精彩的表演。
是的 ，Thank you。
好，现场的各位观众朋友们，现场的各位观众朋友们，高山湖
So
2016
the final
中
race
国
we
南
will
京
see
水陆
today
大念国际
is
攀
likely
联
to
世界
see
杯
some
攀岩
fireworks.
赛
The men's
男
competition
子
has
速
been
度的冠
extremely
亚军
tight
即
today.
将产
Hundreds
生。
of a
是的
second，
由
deciding
A 道来自伊
virtually
朗的
every
Reza
race in the
对阵
quarterfinal
比道
onwards.
来自捷克的
Will the
Libo。
final be the same? They just want to get
好，我
on
们
with
看
this.
一下啊。
Razor Ali
最激动
Porsche,
人
you
心
see
的
him
时刻
there
即将到来，观
closest
众
to
朋
the
友们，
camera
也请大家呢
on
能
the
够
left
在我
when we
们
look at the
计
race
时
and
开始
Libor
以
Harosa
后，
in the
运动员
background.
起步以后，给
Czech
他们
Republic
最热烈的掌声和呐喊的声音。
是，那么 Reza 呢，在 A 道的这位选手一路过关
This
斩
is going
将
to be a，
而比
fascinating
道的大
race.
个子
Strap
呢，
in
现
tight
在
for
身
this
上
one.
已经背了一个
Libor
长
Harosa, a
跑啊。
tall,
我们
powerful
来看一下
climber.
是谁最终获得
Razor Ali
冠
Porsche
军
a much
那么本
smaller,
次比赛呢，我们
see
也
the
在
height
国际攀
difference.
联以及中国登山协会在线的两
Extremely
个网站
dynamic
上
and
都有
fast
现
one
场
to
的
get
直
into
播。
his
那么也
stride.
希望我们现场的观众
This
朋友
one is
们，
going to
让
be
我
far
们
too
把
close
最
to
好的
call.
热情展现给全世界的朋友们。
Final look to the sky from Ali Porsche, and you can see him. Just a ball of energy shaking out, clapping his hands. Harosa much more controlled, much more calm. Which approach will work? Men's final. False start from Harosa.
Libo
Kicking himself.
Come on, Libo
太可惜了，太可惜了。
好的，直接宣布吧，那就。
那么我们也就恭喜 Reza 来自伊
Congratulations
朗。
to Reza. Congratulations to
Harosa
Iran.
will absolutely
Thank
kick
you,
himself for
Libo.
that.
What an amazing game, Libo.
哇，今天的比赛
False
真的是
started
跌
early
宕
in the
起伏
competition.
啊！
That is the
Sure.
second false start
利
of the
博
day.
连续2把，可以，我觉得是这样，就是你的人生没法完美，是吧？你可以干掉你
And
的
it
最强的
means
对手，
He's excluded
你
from this
你也
final.
可以 做你的最好的成
Ali
绩，但是你
Poshena
还是拿不了冠军。
initially
哎呀，真的是。
unclipped himself.
好的，
He's been clipped back in.
在咱们
He
这
will
次比
climb.
赛呢，伊朗的 Riza 也是非常的幸福啊。这一把
还没完，
呢，
还没完，他得
对，
爬
他。还要再爬
I
一
think
点。
even I could win this final from here on. He has an empty wall next to him after Libor Hirosa's false starts.
猜一猜。
Will he put on a show for the crowd? I'm sure he will.
哦，
Stumbles early on.
我们看到他还
I
是
think he was going
为
for
了
a
保持这个哎。
blistering time. To thank the crowd for coming to watch.
开始耍宝了。
Took a few risks, didn't quite make it work, but he still takes the win.
Yeah, Speed Champion.
His third World Cup win after Haiyang 2013, Wujiang 2015. He adds Nanjing 2016 to the
感
list.
谢 Riza。他是不是在感谢今天没下雨？
3 World Cup wins for Ali Poshena in his career.
好的，各位，精彩的比赛告一段落，同时也要为各位预告一下明天的比赛内容。来吧，各位，同样的场地，明天还是在这边。那么我们明天呢有更加精彩。
明天上午的10点钟呢，
He's
将
delighted
进行
with
女
that.
子、男子的攀石
Well, we
的
were
决
denied a
赛。
great
是
race
的，
there,
各位，
unfortunately,
让我
by
们的明
the
天
false start
早
of Libor
上的
Hirosa, who'd
10
already
点
false
不见
started
比
once
赛
in this，
同时
final.
也感谢大家今天一天的陪伴。
同时也要感谢老天爷没有给我们下来雨。
啊，是的，谢谢大家。我们呢这个现场的各位志愿者，大家也非常的辛苦，谢谢大家。
感谢我们的裁判人员们为我们的比赛的
Okay,
精
so
彩的执裁。
just to recap the results: in first place, Reza Ali Poshena. Second, Libor Hirosa, Marcin Zienski in third. And the final semi-finalist in fourth, Stanislav
今天的比赛真
Kokorin.
的是好精彩啊！我觉得如果有谁关注到，真的是再牛叉的这个编剧也写不出这么这个跌宕起伏的剧情啊！
可以写一本小说了。
哇，真的是太厉害了。
And the women's competition, Yulia Kaplina won the final to take her second World Cup in 2 weeks, beating Ala Marenic into second. Anna Tsiganova was third, with Alexander Rudzinska coming in fourth.
好，那么再次呢，我们也感谢本次比赛名誉主席来自国际攀岩联合会。
So, fantastic second World Cup in the speed climbing this year, the men's event being particularly close. Fantastic racing from start to finish. Unfortunately denied a great final, top of a great event. But we will head over very shortly and see the podium ceremony taking place. So it looks like we're just about ready for the podium ceremony to get going. The rain has just about held off. We got some drizzle towards the start, and we can see someone there just taking a photo with their hood up, but it's just about dry, and hopefully it will stay that way for the 5 to 10 minutes that we need to complete the formalities. You can see the medals there ready to be presented. All we're missing now is the athletes. 'So just to recap for you, on the women's podium it will be Kaplina of Russia in first, winning her second World Cup of 2 this year. She's followed by Ala Marenic of Ukraine in second, and Tsiganova, also of Russia, in third. 'See a few of the crowd taking selfies with the interview backdrop. If we wait a couple of minutes, we'll have an even better shot when 3 of the world's best speed climbers are behind them.
稍后呢，我们的颁奖仪式当中呢，也是要为每一位运动员的代表的国家呢，升起建举国旗在我们的后边。那么这也是一个运动员代表自己的国家来参加比赛的非常庄严的时刻。是。因为每一位运动员呢，从世界各地来到我们中国，来到我们的南京这个一个地灵的地方，都取得了非常好的成绩。
So if you're just joining us here in Nanjing, for the second round of the 2016 IFSC Speed World Cup season. Yulia Kaplina won the women's event ahead of Ala Marenic and Anna Tsiganova in third. In the men's competition, Reza Aliporshen, although seeing as he's won, we can perhaps have a go at pronounce his full name. Reza Aliporshen Zandifar won the men's competition with Libor Harosa in second and Marcin Zienski improving on fourth in Chongqing to take third here in Nanjing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to IFSC Channel World Cup Nanjing 2016. Coming up, we have award ceremony. 接下来颁发的是我们的男子速度前3名的选手，有请我们的获奖运动员入场，有请。Let's welcome our top 3 male athletes. Welcome. 接下来出场的是我们获得男子速度前3名的选手，他们将会走入我们的比赛场地，那么获取属于他们自己的荣誉的时刻。是的，各位，现在我们的场地已经准备好了，我们的观众也已经准备好了，我们的运动员准备好了没有呢？如果准备好的话。
And it looks like we are just about ready for the podium ceremony to get underway. And here they come. In the men's competition, we see him there on the left, Libor Harosa, second time in 2 weeks. On the top step, Reza Aliporshen Zandifar and Marcin Zienski on the right there taking third place. But it's Aliporshen Zandifar's day today. Libor Harosa false started in the final, meaning that Aliporshen Zandifar just had to climb the route to take the win, which he duly did. The men's competition was incredibly tight today. A couple of hundredths of a second deciding numerous races. One of the best competitions we've seen for a long time in speed climbing. Here's Libor Harosa, waves to the crowd. If you have a look on the IFSC Facebook page, you will see a short video from Libor explaining what sport climbing is all about if you're new to the sport. With a typically dynamic jump, Reza Aliporshen Zandifar takes his third World Cup win of his career. His third in China. He won in Haiyang in 2013 and Wujiang in 2015. And it's handshakes all round. Now the prize checks being handed out. Libor Harosa doesn't look that happy for a man that's just been handed 2,500. I assume that's euros. 2,500 euros. False started in the final. Missed his chance to go for the win. That's a bit more like it. As we hear the Iranian national anthem.
Congratulations again. Let's take a picture. 好的，这个是属于我们
And a
运动员
nice
的
touch
好，
there.
让我们一起来留
The
下。
prize chips get put on the ground.
这个
All
每
three
一个
climbers
今
crowd the
天
top
啊，
step,
这一次的比赛真的是非常的精
and we
彩。
get the medal photo.
好的 ，Thank you。
Razor just spotted someone he knew in the crowd there. Quick wink.
好的，各位，接下来
Great to see
再
that
来呢
spirit of
高
sportsmanship
2016中国男子
pervading
水
speed
上
climbing.
国际攀联世界杯攀岩赛女子速度前3名的选手，有请我们的获奖运动员入场。Welcome our top 3 female
And
athletes.
out comes our female podium.
同时
third
再
place
次请出我们的颁奖嘉宾。
It's
国际攀联副主席
suspect.、
国家体育总局登山运动管理中心主任李志新 ，Vice President of
have the
IFSC
order.
Mr. 李志新。获得第3名的选手来自俄罗斯的 Ola。Congratulations to
Yes,
Ola.
they've just figured it out.
To Russia.
I was just saying, we haven't got the order quite right. Whether word filtered down for me, whether they figured it out for themselves, I'm not sure. But now we have the right order. Anna Tsiganova takes third, Ala Marenic second. We see her take her place on the podium, her correct place.
那么经过了一天激烈的比拼呢，我们的美丽的运动员脸上终于是露出了笑容，获得女子
And we're about to see Yulia Koplina, whose place has never been in doubt on the top step.
Congratulations to
There she
Yulia
is.
from Russia.
Looks absolutely over the moon. And I have to say, looked ever so slightly tickled at the mistake of Tsiganova and Marenic when they ended up on the wrong steps. She's had a perfect start to the season, 2 World Cups, 2 wins.
江苏省体育总会秘书长李义斌为我们的获奖运动员颁发奖金牌。Welcome Secretary General of the Jiangsu Sports Federation 李义斌。
Checks being presented. It is in euros, I thought so. 1,500 yuan might not.
好，请我们的颁奖嘉宾
Oh,
和我们的运动员
1,500 euros is much more like it.
谢谢，谢谢我们的颁奖嘉宾。
You cannot wipe the smile off Yulia Koplina's face, and rightly so.
俄罗斯国歌声
What a start to a big season. Yulia Kaplina there, with a huge season ahead of her. We've got the normal World Cup season, which is hard enough, and the World Championships in Paris in September. And she could not have got the year off to a much better start. 2 World Cups, 2 wins.
确实是这样啊，终于展现了这个如花般的笑脸。
Just sharing a little joke with Ada. Taking over her teammate there. Well, there we have it. IFSC Speed World Cup number 2 out of the way for 2016. Incredibly close in the men's competition, and in the women's, Yulia Kaplina continues to dominate. We have a Boulder World Cup next week in Mumbai, but the speed competition resumes in Chamonix on the 10th and 11th of July. We will see you then.